Okay, so here we are working on the frog body, and here's our layers palette. So go ahead and check your layers palette, and I'll go ahead and put that back in so you can see what the icon is for that. And the layers palette, whoop, come on. The layers palette looks like this little stack of papers. And so if you cannot find your layers palette, make sure you go up to Window and look in the alphabetical list of items there, and you'll find it. And here we are working on the frog body, and we are in isolation mode. We have the plant layer hidden, and this should all make sense to you because you should have been watching the last two videos. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my pen tool, and I'm going to go right over, here we go, look at that out of the way. I'm going right over the tongue because that tongue is going to be on another layer. Whoops. So remember, if you make a mistake, Control Z is the thing to do. If you take your pick up off your pen tool, I should say, is what I'm trying to say, and you want to go back, then make sure that you anchor it to one of the points. Again, that's been reviewed over and over in the other videos as well. I'm going right over the foot and right over the leg, because these items are going to be on separate layers. So now I'm going to go Control A and release the pen tool so I can actually move my frog over because I have it in a zoom view. Here I go to get my pen tool back, okay, because I moved the frog over into view. I'm clicking on the pen tool. I have to go back to that little pink box and see when I get that green word that says anchor. I want to make sure I'm joining my points together every time I pick up off the pen tool. And here we go. And so Control A, and I'm going to go Control minus, and I'm going to reduce the size of my art piece. I could have also went up to view, and I could go actual size. I could also do fit all in the window, or I could do fit artboard in the window. But really, I kind of like the actual size view, so that's what I want to do right now. And I need to get my swatches palette. So remember that the swatches, they just look like a grid. And when you put your cursor over it, you will go ahead and the word swatches will pop up. And swatches are just mean little patches of color and little chips of color. And so that's what swatches means. And so here we go, and here's our swatches. And just for, again, for purposes of this particular video, I'm just going to go ahead and select, I actually need a better green than that. So I'm going to find some more swatches. So I'm going to go ahead, drop down box, open swatch library, color books, hand tone solid coded colors. This should be you should be getting very used to this by now because you probably did it a bunch of times. And that's really the only way for you to get good at something is to just do it over and over and over again. And until it just becomes like second nature to you. Oh yeah, I know what I have to do. I have to go here and I have to get my color palette and I have to select my colors, and you'll get familiar with the icons. And these are some really pretty greens, so I want to grab a bunch of those. And you can just click on them and they'll pop up in your box. You don't have to drag them over. So it's just whatever's easier for you, whatever you like to do. So see how I'm just clicking on them and they're popping up there. So, and that's fine too. You're going to find that for everything that you can do in the Adobe software programs, there's about 3 different ways to do the same thing. So not everyone does it the way I'm going to show you to do it. People develop their own shortcuts. And when you become expert at this, you can develop your own shortcuts too. And then you can say, oh yeah, hey, I could do it this way. And that's perfectly fine. Okay, frog outline, it's the stroke. And here's the color fill. I'm going to pick this green color. And there he is. But we can't see his eyes. And we can't see his legs yet. And we can't see his tongue's not done yet. And that's okay, because those things are all going to be on separate layers. Okay? And so what is this looking like so far? Well, we've got that going so far. The frog does look like he's on top of the plant. We're going to talk more about this in a little bit and why that's happening. We've still got plenty of work to do on this. So let's hide the plant and let's hide the body. And let's go ahead here to your drop-down box. And remember, I hide things, or you can hide things, by clicking on the eye. And it's like closing the eye so you can't see it anymore, okay? So you just have to be patient and follow it step by step. And then we're going to go back here, and we are going to make a new layer, and we are going to call this frog feet, or fins, or legs, or whatever you like. I'm going to call them feet and legs. How about feet and legs? There you go. And there's my frog feet and legs, and my layer is highlighted, and I'm going to go ahead and go into, guess what? Isolation mode, right? I can only see that layer, and I can move around in this part of the workspace and not worry about it being messed up in any of the other areas. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab my pen tool, and now I'm going to go Control plus, make it big so I can see it. And I know some people are working like this. They're making it really giant screen. And I'm going to go and anchor my points. Oh, and again, I don't want the fill right now, so I want to make his feet different color. So I Control A, release the pen tool, and I really want to make his, I actually want to make his feet orange. I want to make him have some orange feet. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to swatch, open swatch library, color books, and solid coded color. And if you were just about to correct me on that, I'm happy because that means you're learning this. And here's some orange. Let's try this one and this one. Yeah, I think that's good. And okie doke. So I don't want any fill right now. And I'm going to make the stroke this orange color because the fill is going to eventually be that orange color too. I'm going to go back here and select that and delete that because I don't want that. And I don't want that. I'm going to delete that out. I'm going to start over again. I'm going to get that little point and delete that out. Now, back to my what? Pen tool. And click, 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 click. Again, it's filled. Control A, no fill. There we go. That's my stroke. That's better. Now get the pen tool. Now anchor your points. Remember, if you pick up off the pen tool and you go back to filling in your area, you want to make sure that you are connecting all your dots. You know how they say you got to connect the dots. Okay, Control A, and let's see. I think I want to use this color. Let's see how that looks. And then maybe I want to change my stroke. Maybe. How about that? That looks good. Okay, so continuing with the other leg. Remember, you can pick your own colors. We're going to go back and we're going to fine-tune this project so it looks really nice. And then you could even take a look at, now that you know how to use some of the tools in Illustrator, you could go back and look at your original colored, hand-colored drawing and decide if maybe you would like to try to copy some of the highlights and the gradients and the shadings that you did on your hand-drawn frog. I'm going to come back down in here. And you can make some personal choices on what you like too for this. Okay, so we're joining those two anchor points, Control A, and filling that in. Oh, that's a different color. Well, let's go back. Let's make sure we have our black selection tool. Let's click on this foot, and I want to change this one to match that one. And you can change it around any way you want. So let's see what we have so far. I'm going to go Control minus, okay, or I can go up to View Actual Size. And let's get out of isolation mode. So here we are, and we're going to exit isolation mode, and let's take a look at what we have so far. So we now have leaf, we have the body, and we have the feet over the body, and now we're going to get ready to do the tongue. And let's go ahead and guess what we're going to do next. We're going to make a new layer. We're going to name it tongue. And we're going to go OK. And then we're going to go drop down box, enter isolation mode, make our screen large by Control plus, plus, plus. Let's move these boxes out of the way. Let's grab our pen tool. And, oh, I forgot to hide those other ones. So wait, let's go back. Let's go exit isolation mode. Sorry about that. Let's hide the body. Let's hide the frog feet. We don't want to see those, and let's hide the plant too. Let's get that all out of the way so it's not confusing to us. So by clicking on the eye, you hide things. By clicking back, you reveal things. So let's hide them. We want to keep the tongue visible, so that layer is highlighted. We want to make sure we're on that layer so it turns a pale blue. We're going to here to enter isolation mode. Okay, and there we are. And our screen is enlarged. Going over here to get our pen tool, which is selected. And we're going to go ahead and click, click, click. Oh, and it's filling it in. Always forget to change my fill. Control A, up here. I don't want any fill right now. And I just want to have it pink. So I like to use my pen tool first and then fill it in so I can actually really see what I did. We're going to need a little bit of a strategy here. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to Control Z that. And I'm going to think about a strategy here. So if you went ahead and were following what I was doing without watching it first, go back and let's do this. Let's find a strategy here for this. And I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to start from the spiral in the center. And again, Control A, no fill. And maybe red. Red outline. Nope. No fill and a red outline. There we go. And now back to the pen tool and back to clicking on the anchor point. There we go. Now we got it. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. And we're going to go ahead and let's get that cool looking tongue going. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm kind of testing this out right now. Let's see how that's going to go. We want his tongue to be here.